The Spider Who Saved Christmas, a Legend by Raymond Arroyo and illustrated by Randy Gallegos. Okay, let's get right into it. For Rebecca and all the mothers who spin webs of love and sacrifice that hold our families together. Look at it, Dylan. It's gold. It's pretty, huh? Oh, look at the illustrations in this one. Wow, this is beautiful. In the days of Herod, the king of Judea, Mary, her husband, Joseph, and the baby Jesus fled Bethlehem by night, bound for the land of Egypt. Weary from their journey, they sought refuge in the caverns of the hill country. I love these drawings. And as they entered a cave, behold, a great spider trembled at the child's cry. The sound vibrated through her golden web, filling Nephilah with wonder. Look, Dylan. The spider. See? Look at her little face. She scampered to the corner of the silk where a sack of eggs her future hung. They were safe, swaddled in the golden strands she had spent hours knitting about them. She peered down at the fascinating strangers below. The woman cradling the babe in her mantle reclined beneath Nephilah's silent canopy. The man with kind eyes lifted his lantern and stared into the darkness outside the cave. "We can't stay here, Mary," he said in a soft voice. "Herod's men are coming." For he had been warned in a dream that King Herod sought to destroy the child. "Jesus won't be safe until we reach Egypt." Mary nodded gently, kissing the head of her babe. "Fear not, Joseph." She said, "Fear not," like they do in the Bible. Nephilah dropped on a line of webbing to get a closer look at the child, who seemed to glow with his own radiance. Joseph's eyes turned hard when he spotted the dangling visitor above Mary. "Be still, there are spiders," he spat out. He slashed at Nephilah with his staff. As she recoiled, Joseph ran his staff through the web, ripping two of the main lines. Look at her little golden silk web is getting all destroyed. The golden-backed spider retreated into the shadows and laid her body protectively over her sack of children. "Leave it, Joseph," Mary said. "They are dangerous." He lifted the lantern, seeking the spider lurking in the dark. As he raised his staff to strike the spider and clear what was left of the webbing, Mary took hold of the rod. "All are here for a reason. Let it be." Sometimes it takes a woman to reason, right, Dylan? Now, at the hum of the woman's voice, Nephilah relaxed but dared not leave the shadows. She rubbed her two front legs together, wondering how she would ever repair the shredded web. Where is she? Oh, they don't show her, huh? Rest, Joseph. Mary patted the ground beside her. Joseph lay next to the child and threw his cloak over the three of them. And behold, wails of anguish and the final cries of babies floated through the night. Nephila stiffened at the sound of the wails on the wind. Poor children, Joseph said. The soldiers are close. Dim the light, Mary whispered. I am sorry we are in this horrible place, he told her, snuffing out the lantern light. We are so exposed. It is where we are meant to be. There is beauty, even here. She looked up at Nephila's web, touching Joseph's hand, and love. Pray for our safety, he said, closing his eyes. Mary lightly moved her lips. Only the faraway shrieks disturbed the cave's silence. Look at the little baby. Sound asleep, Dylan. Mm-hmm. That was not easy back then. Mm-hmm. Nephila moved to the tattered edge of her silk. Taking advantage of the stillness, she began to spin a new web. How would she ever reattach the ripped drape to the faraway wall? It would take hours, days perhaps. A shaft of moonlight suddenly cut into the cave. As Nephila turned towards the light, a warm gust carrying the sweet scent of berries blew over her. Getting sleepy? Mm-hmm. It swirled about the cavern, and she felt herself rising slightly. The wispy mane lines of her web floated up to the ceiling and stretched to the far wall of the caves as if they had never been disturbed. The spider warily walked the length of the silk to the far cave wall, testing the strength of the new lines. It's not easy. Mm-hmm. Do you want to read a page? No, not tonight. Okay. Suddenly, the child below cried, sending a vibration through the web. Nephila's egg sac leapt and rippled at the sound. The spider stared down at the child. This Jesus. Never had she felt such a sensation. She instantly understood what she had to do. Look how pretty this writing is. A lot easier than the other book, huh? Look at this sweet little angel face. Mm-hmm. At the center of her web, she plucked the strings, playing a tune only spiders could hear. From deep within the crevice of the cave, Nephila's older children scuttled forward by the dozens. Each heard its mother's call and followed her to the cave opening. Nephila hung upside down from the cave's mouth and descended on a thick golden line until she reached the floor. She climbed to the corners of the opening and repeatedly fluttered across the center line, leaving a trail of golden thread behind her. Look at this beautiful golden thread. Mm-hmm. Look at this. It's like art. Mm-hmm. Her framework completed, she plucked on the center strand. At the sound, her children sprang into action, dropping cords of web, weaving their golden silk in a frantic rhythmic dance. Look, see? Look at this, right there. Look at how they're all... See? Now, when it was daybreak and the spider's work was done, the cave mouth wore a golden veil of webbing, sealing it completely. Oh my gosh, look how amazing this is. Yeah. She's right in the middle of it. Does that look like a work of art?
Those spiders were real, I'd like to have one. As long as they didn't bite.
I don't know.
Maybe like a chest outside.
I'm a little afraid of spiders.
Maybe like a chest outside or something.
I think they can do some damage. But she looks like a cute little spider, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Look at those little eyes. Nephila's children returned to the darkness and their personal webs, but not Nephila. Despite the frost dotting the golden curtain, she rested on the outside at the very center of the web. And it came to pass that Nephila felt the approach of 3 soldiers climbing the hillside. They carried blood-slicked swords and spoke in loud, crude voices. "You two get up there and inspect the cave," one soldier yelled. "Why would a baby boy be in a cave? You have your orders. Inspect every dwelling and kill every boy under 2. Wow, scary. Especially the newborns. That was Herod's command. Go. A pair of soldiers clambered up to the cave. The yelling and clanging of armor woke Joseph, though Mary and Jesus did not stir. In silence, Joseph fetched his staff and held it high, ready to defend his family. The golden screen blocking the outside world puzzled him. On its thick gauze, he observed the shadow of 2 huge soldiers, one waving a sword. Joseph tightened his grip on his staff. She's going to protect them. Outside, the sunlight caused the frosted cobweb to glimmer and sparkle. Nephila wished to return to the shadowy recesses of the cave. She felt so exposed, sitting in daylight. But the child had clearly told her to spin a web over the entranceway and remain there. "What should we do?" one of the soldiers whispered. Considering the spider's handiwork, no one entered this cave, or the web would be broken. Oh, you see? She made it look like they weren't there. "You are right," the soldier glared at Nephila, whose legs were pulsing. "There was no newborn in there, except maybe newborn spiders. That thing looks ready to pounce," the other soldier said, shivering for an instant. "I hate spiders. Forget it. Let's go." "Everything is clear up here, Commander," one of them yelled, and they retreated, running down the hill. Pretty clever. Now that's what you call a trap.
Yeah.
Good trap.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have built a spider web for the leprechauns.
Yeah. Maybe a spider could have webbed them in a cage.
Yeah. Inside the cave, Joseph lowered his staff and fell against the rocky wall, giving thanks for their safety. Nephila watched the soldiers leave. After a long while, she began to bow on the strings of her web. The light melody awakened Mary. "Joseph, from where is that music coming?" "I hear nothing," he said. Mary marveled at the gossamer gauze and the shadow of Nephila, illuminated by the sun. "Isn't it beautiful?" "Soldiers came as you slept. The spiders saved Jesus and us," Joseph said, staring at the web. "Yes? All are here for a reason." Mary looked lovingly at her son and nodded off to sleep. She was the hero.
Mm.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph remained in the cave another day before taking their leave. They pulled back a piece of Nephilah's golden curtain to pass from the cave, and the child's hand grazed the web as they hastened to Egypt.
Mm.
They were very respectful, though.
Mm.
They wanted to leave but not destroy that. See? Touched it.
Yeah.
And it came to pass that Nephilah withdrew to the cave, where she tenderly embraced her egg sac until the last of her spiderlings came forth. Soon after, she repaired the golden curtain at the entryway and spent her days at the center. Basking in the sunlight, she awaited the return of the child with the sweet cry she would never forget. Even today, golden silk orb weavers, the children of Nephilah, can be found on their webs in the sun, waiting. And theirs is considered the most precious of all silk. See?
Mm.
There she is.
Mm.
Nephilah's gift to the Christ child is remembered in the sparkling tinsel that trips from evergreens all over the world at Christmas time. Poles, Ukrainians, and other Eastern Europeans have a tradition of placing spider ornaments on Christmas trees to commemorate their spider that saved Christmas. So next time you see some twinkling tinsel or a spider ornament lurking in a tree branch, think of Nephilah, who, though small and feared, met divinity and reflected his light as only she could. Like each of us, she was there for a reason. He also wrote some other books.
Ooh.
Wow. You know, we never had a spider on our tree.
Can we get one?
And Papa's family is Eastern European. And we had chocolates wrapped in gold and string, and we would tie them on the tree, and we would call it salon sukor. And we always had those on the tree every year.
You know, I'd like the pet spider like that would just like repaint all the walls to gold.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of nice. Yeah.
All are here for a reason. This is the suspenseful, heartwarming chapter of the Christmas story you have never heard until now. New York Times bestselling author Raymond Arroyo, receives a lost legend casting new light on the story we thought we knew. The Spider Who Saved Christmas spins a tale of Nephilah, a cave-dwelling spider who encounters a trio of visitors running for their lives. The spider miraculously risks her all to offer them a special gift, a timeless lesson. This instant classic reveals the origin of Christmas tinsel and reminds us that hope can always be found, even in dark places where we least expect it. And he got a lot of great reviews. Okay, The Spider Who Saved Christmas. Did you like that one? Beautiful.
I love it.